Okay, we are live. Hello, beautiful Facebook world. I am Jess DuBose, and welcome to our first Love Travelers Roundtable with these beautiful humans on the screen. And we are gonna just jump right in talking about relationships and marriage and dating and sex and anything that wants to come out in this conversation is what's going to happen. So, my first question to all of you is what are your thoughts on poly relationships?
I was in one. I was
Excellent.
in one. That's a good start to this conversation, isn't it? Yeah, I was in one for I would say about three or 4 months, and we had conversations about it. I knew the deal. She knew the deal. She's married. She was married to a person that knew the deal as well. And the craziest story that I have from that is that when I first drove to their house, he actually dropped us off at the place we were having dinner. so so it was kind of like a dad dropping off his like daughter and then her date at like prom or something like that. But no, her husband dropped us off and we had like a sexual romantic relationship for a couple months, and I couldn't do it because at the end of the day I wanted her to come home to me. I wanted her for myself, and I gave it a shot. I couldn't do it.
Excellent.
Wow. I can't say I've ever participated, but I do have several friends who are part of the polyamory community. So I think to each their own. I don't knock it. I don't particularly think it's for me because I don't really like to share, especially when, it's my person. So yeah, but it's intense from what I hear.
I'm not really sure. Like, I've never been in one either, but my ideas around it, kind of with you, Kerr, like this kind of teach his own. Like, I feel like I would be a part of one. I would try it out. Like, I wouldn't knock it. Like, I can have selfish tendencies too, but I think if I go in with that mindset, like I know this is what is this off the bat, I feel like it'd be probably like a little bit easier to kind of navigate around that space.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting because I think some people have this idea that a poly relationship means like you can have sex with anybody at any time. But I think every single person I've ever talked to who's been in a poly relationship, you get to define what it is that you want and create whatever. So for me, I would be maybe open to a poly relationship, but it would be like under these certain circumstances. Like there are some things I would be super uncomfortable with, but I would have to say that and share that, and like that person that I'm in relationship with would have to be okay with the parameters of whatever it is that we're creating. But I think that's like the biggest key to those types of relationships is like being very clear about what you want, saying when you don't, and saying when it changes. Like for Kai, you started in a relationship and then it didn't work out because you knew that it was like, oh, this is not what I want.
Yeah, honestly, I went in and I was like, I can do this. I can do this. I can do this. But as time went on and I grew more and more attached to this person, I was like, I want you. And I don't like the fact that like every night you're going home to your husband, even though he knows about me, I know about him, and I know everything about that. He knows everything about us. I couldn't do it emotionally. It was too much.
So I have a question for you, Kai, because of that. Like, do you feel like you will be able to do that if all three of y'all were living together? Do you feel like it'd be different?
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think so because it wasn't just the fact that she went home to him like physically. It was also the fact that like where our relationship was, it was never going to be more than that, right? It's not like she can marry two people, and like I'm looking to get married and have children and live that kind of life. And I knew that the relationship that we had, there was like that was it. That was as good as it's going to get. And I couldn't do that. I couldn't. I tried so hard.
What if you were in that relationship, you were the husband and you and your wife had that kind of, is that something you would be open to? No. So it's like, no, I tried it, I can't.
and even before that, like, or even during, when things were great, I said to myself, props to him for having this openness with his wife, and allowing her to do this. I would not be able to do that. I wouldn't be able to do that knowing that my wife is out there with another man falling for him as well. And like, that's a lot. That's a lot to take on.
I wonder if the dynamic changes if it was two females and a male, as opposed to two males and a female.
Mm-hmm. You leave us speechless. You leave us speechless, Miss Kerr. I think that's all we have time for. Good night, everybody.
Yeah, right.
We found the line. And it's only been 7 minutes
in. It's a
in.
good question. I mean, it's a good question though. I think perhaps the dynamics they might change. Sure, maybe, but I guess it depends on what that individual person's preference is, because like for me, like even if it was another man, at the end of the day, like that man would still be married to somebody else, and our relationship would not be able to go further than what it was. So for me personally, I don't think I think it'd be the same, but I guess it depends on the person.
Yeah, polyamory is really difficult because communication is massive. You literally have to be completely transparent and completely candid and open about every single thing, like you said, Jess. And a lot of people can't handle that just in everyday life, let alone in a committed relationship.
Well, and I'm looking at the comments here, and Rochelle was like, it's amazing how transferable these conversations are to all relationships. So not just a romantic relationship, but your relationship with your family and your boss and whoever. Yeah. Like, clear communication is like key in all of those relationships. But unfortunately, I've seen over and over again how messy it gets because people aren't clear.
Yeah, for sure.
I got a question for Kai to kind of piggyback what Kerr said. Would you be okay if your girlfriend or your wife had a girlfriend? If she brought another girl into the situation instead of it being another guy?
I think that's also a two-parter. One scenario that you have access to, and another that you don't.
So that's a great question, and I can answer it mainly because I have been in that situation before as well. So in college, I was with somebody. I was with a woman that was actively with other women, right? And I was okay with that. The minute that it was another guy, like I couldn't do it. I couldn't. It was just different. Couldn't do it. So I don't think I'd be able to do it if it was another guy. I want to be the one guy.
So as a coach, I have all kinds of things to say about all of these things, but this is not a coaching.
Am I messed up? Am I messed up in the brain? Is that what you're saying?
No, but everyone is perfect, whole, and complete. You are not broken.
No, I think I feel the same way as you would, Kyle, like, especially initially. Yeah. Like just as a man in general, without like any kind of change of programming, like I will feel the same way. Like, nah, that's dead. But ideally I will want to feel that openness, only for like the line of communication to be that open and honest with my partner. Like, but I will want to feel that way. But I think naturally I'll feel the same way. Like, nah, ain't no dudes.
Yeah. Couldn't do it.
Do you guys think it's possible to be in love with two people at the same time?
Yes.
Yeah,
I do.
And do you think
100%.
that is often what's the word I'm looking for? A momenter of I'm at a loss for words right now. That is the root cause of cheating sometimes, outside of like the selfish, obvious reasons.
Oh, I think it can play a factor, but I think at the end of the day, if people cheat when they find somebody that offers something that they're not getting in their life, right? So whether they actually love that other person or not, like they cheat because that person is just offering something that they're not normally getting, right? When it comes to love, I think it is possible to have a healthy, loving relationship with somebody without cheating. It's like looking at the menu but not ordering anything.
Let's
I really love those
define.
mozzarella sticks, but I'll get them next time.
Well, let's
Maybe
define
next time.
cheating since we're talking about it. What is your definition of cheating? Let's start there.
I would say cheating. Go ahead. What?
No, I was just nothing. I was making a comment. You're good.
I would say for me, cheating is going outside of the mutually agreed upon standards and stipulations of what your relationship is.
That's difficult. I agree with you. I think it's difficult for me to answer because I feel like it's different. I guess people say different levels of cheating is different ways you can kind of do it, which goes to your point, like outside of the standards that y'all agreed upon. I think where it gets tricky is that a lot of times those boundaries don't get established. There are unspoken expectations in the relationship, and it causes that situation when things can come up that could be labeled as cheating.
I agree.
Yeah, and like I think the easy definition is physical cheating, right? That's the easy one, right? When you're physically doing something with somebody that you're not supposed to do. So that's the easy one. I think the real question that we're asking now is emotional cheating. You know, that's the one that's a little bit more difficult to define because that I think that goes with the levels that you were talking about. Like for some people, you can the actions that you take with somebody, that is emotionally cheating. But with other people, it's like, no, they're just friends or they're just close. You know what I'm saying?
I was recently in a situation like that where my ex thought I was cheating because I was hanging out with a girl at school. And we used to just study together, but we would also catch the bus together. We was going the same direction. So, and that part of it, like, because she didn't know we were catching the bus together, but she knew everything else, she labeled that as I was cheating. Even though there was no emotions involved, there was no physicalness involved, like there was nothing else except that aspect.
Perception. It's all about perception and perception, number one, and number two, communication. Number one, communication. Number two, perception. And number three, it's just a matter of establishing those boundaries that we were talking about before. You know, any good, solid relationship, like you'll know, okay, what I'm doing right now, the person I'm with feels uncomfortable with that, right? So you establish that. But one thing that I think, I'm sure we'll talk about this at some point, but that's when it sounds like what you have, Brandon, is a platonic friendship with somebody, which I have tons of. In fact, my roommate Gia, you know, is a female, and we have a very strong platonic friendship, you know, where there hasn't been any romantic feelings or there hasn't been any physical interaction like that. But sometimes people are like, so what you guys doing at night? Like, nothing. Nothing. We watch Gilmore Girls.
Oh my gosh. So what do you do in those circumstances where your definitions of cheating are not the same, and he or she is saying, you cheated on me, I'm so hurt? You're like, no, I didn't cheat. That's not cheating. Yes, you cheated, I'm hurt. What do you do?
Yeah, that's an interesting question because you can only try to, I don't want to say justify, but try to communicate with your partner as clearly as possible how you feel about the situation, but you can't really control how they feel about the situation or their perception of what cheating is for them. Yeah. So for them, you can argue day and night and be as logical and clear as possible, but in their head, it doesn't matter what the hell you say, you cheated, period. And that's a challenge to be in a relationship with someone who is kind of more open-minded or the boundaries are more broad versus and that person being with someone who is like, nope, this is what it is. This is how I feel. This is, you know, my perception of what is going on, and you're not going to change my mind about that.
Right.
I'll give you an example. So there was a relationship that I was in this past summer where like my personality is flirtatious, right? It can come off as flirtatious, but that doesn't mean that I'm trying to get in your pants, right? I just like making people laugh. I like if I'm at a restaurant and the waitress comes over, or waiter, it doesn't matter. I'll be kind to that person, blah, blah, blah. And sometimes it can come off as flirtation, right? Some of the TikToks or videos that I make can come off as flirtation. The person that I was with this summer quite often would be like, well, if you want to go be with that person, just go be with them. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, I see the way that you comment on their stuff. And at that point, if you have to continue to explain yourself and there's just a rift in the communication and they don't trust you, and maybe they went through some shit in their life and there's just some sort of trust that they're not able to have, then at some point, that's just on them. And you can't force a square peg into a round hole. Like, that's just how it is. You got to decide whether that's something you want to continue or not.
True.
Yeah, I posted several months ago that on my Instagram, like, cheating is not the problem in your relationship, and I got a lot of flack for it, because
what do you mean by that?
Right, because it's everything you guys have been already talking about. Cheating is the like pain thing, but there's a lot of issues that's going on underneath that. Like, why is this person cheating in the first place? Like, are they not getting what they need? Is there not trust? Is like, so the cheating is like the thing that happens after the problems that have already been happening for a while. So it's like, is it the trust thing? Is it the I'm not getting what I need? Is it we have two different definitions of what a relationship looks like? Is it, but until you define it, what cheating is, until you define what the parameters of your relationship are, you can't have those conversations in a good way. And so really being able to create that space and then like creating trust with somebody to be like, okay, I have a lot of guy friends. Brandon's one of my best friends. We talk all the time. If somebody that I potentially might be dating in the future has an issue with that, then that's probably not the right person for me, because this is already an established person in my life. And to make it even a little bit more complicated, Brandon and I used to date. Some people will have a huge difficult time with that. But it's like, we've already established what our relationship is. And he's like my homie, my friend, this is who he is in my life. But I'm really upfront with it. In any guy that I'm about to date, I'm like very clear about everything all the time. It's actually a little scary to some people sometimes how honest I am.
I have a question, and you guys complete the fifth on this if you want, because it's a pretty tough question to answer. I think y'all know where I'm going with this. Have you ever cheated?
I have never cheated on a person I was dating, but I've been part of cheating where that person was cheating.
Okay, and you knew about it?
Yes.
Okay.
I too have not cheated while in a relationship, but I've like explored other people while in a situationship, if you will. So I mean,
an entanglement.
An entanglement, yes. An entanglement with August. An entanglement with August.
I kind of have. I guess it depends on the statute of limitations. Like it was a long time ago. It was back in like high school. I don't think I cheated as an adult, but yeah, back in high school, you know, it.
Yeah, so it doesn't count once you're an adult.
You know, like right at the 18, it's like, all right, clean slate, everything back to normal.
Oh my God.
What about you, Kai?
What? Next question? Oh, that's great. So, no, I'm kidding.
That's why it's disclaimer, right?
No, yes, I have once, and I got caught. It was bad, and the hurt pride in me tried to find a way to blame her, admittedly, and that was not a good idea. And it wasn't fair to her. It wasn't fair to anybody involved. The other person knew that I was with somebody else. And on top of that, I tried to justify it by being like, oh, well, our relationship was on the rocks anyway, you know. And I tried to and I look back at that time period of my life. This was 10 years ago, I would say. I look back at that time period of my life, and I was young, but the way that I I think he disappeared. There you go. The way that I look back and the way that I tried to justify it, it makes me laugh now because I'm like, Kai, that you're such a dumbass. Are you serious? What were you thinking? What is wrong with you? And I look back at it now, and like that person that I cheated on, we're friends now. Like we're actually really good friends, and we've worked together on various amount of projects in the last decade. But in that time period, I'm like, oh my God, what is wrong with me? This is awful. Awful.
You know what? I know I'm not like capable really of cheating because that one time where it happened in the entanglement, I told them because I felt
wow. You told the other person.
I told the person, yeah. I was just like, I gotta tell you something. So I did this last night, and we the entanglement continued afterwards, and I bust my ass to earn back my trust. But yeah, like not my thing, not my cup of tea. I'd rather just leave.
Yeah, sneaking around with a married man was not my cup of tea either.
Mm.
Hey, can I ask you a question, kind of about that, Kerr? Like, without going, no details or anything like that, but I'm just kind of curious. Did you find yourself in that situation based on kind of what we was talking about before, like something was missing, or is it just an exploration thing, or just kind of you're open to other people? What was going
on? Something was definitely missing. It was a situation where I had suspicions that they were actually cheating because their attention and their actions towards me had significantly changed. And I pick up on a lot of things. When they say women's intuition, it's real. And I asked them about it. They told me no. And I was like, okay, fine, whatever. But their actions changed. And then somebody else started giving me the attention that they were no longer. And yeah, one thing led to another, and I allowed myself to explore that other option. But I felt absolutely horrible about it. And like I was in love with the person. So the next day I told them, and I pleaded for their forgiveness, and yeah.
This is awesome. I love how we've started all of these conversations. And let's go around and introduce ourselves. Say, what's your name? Where are you coming from? What are you doing in the world? And what is your relationship status?
Who are you starting with?
Whoever wants
I
to
guess
go
I'll
first.
start.
Excellent.
Brandon. I'm from Cleveland, Ohio. Cool city. I'm a personal trainer, and I'm single. Yeah.
Is there a question on there?
I know it sounds like it, right?
Like, are you sure?
I gotta do some thinking. Like, am I the No, yeah, I'm single.
Well, okay. I'm pretty sure that all of us are single. So single and want to be single and looking for a partner. Like, define what single is, Brandon.
Okay, you gotta go out and do all this extra stuff. All right, so
of course, you know me.
I am not looking for a partner. Is that good enough?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Just had to make sure.
Excellent. Who's going next?
Miss Kerr.
Okay. Well, Carrie Ann Wright is the Govey, fondly known as Miss Kerr. I am from Toronto, Ontario, and I am single and looking. I'm waiting for my Mr. Forever. I am a lover of love. All things love, relationships, all of that good stuff is kind of an obsession of mine. So conversations like these are really fun. Professionally, I do everything in music and entertainment. And I love connecting with good people like yourself.
I guess I'll go. I am Kyrus Keenan Westcott. I'm the guy that admitted to cheating a couple minutes ago. You might remember. Glad we're doing intros now. So we went with a fake name. No, I'm Kai. People call me Kai. Nice to meet you all. I am single. It depends on the day whether I'm actually looking or not. I am incredibly focused on my career and the growth of my career, because I'm working on I'm writing 2 books right now, and then I have my brand, which I'm trying to expand as well. So sometimes I'm like, I don't have time for a relationship, and then I'll come home at night and I'll be like, I can really go for some cuddles and chicken nuggets, you know. So, it depends on the day.
Excellent. And I am Jess DuBose. I am in Oregon currently, and I am a relationship coach, an author. I wrote a book called I Don't Hate My Ex-Husband, and Kai has a podcast on it. It's fucking awesome. And I have a coaching program called The Love Less Traveled, and we'll talk about that in a minute more. And I am single and looking for my forever partner. I don't know that I want to say forever, because forever is, I have this tattoo on my shoulder that says, nothing is permanent, everything will be. And so I was looking for my forever person before and have been married, and that didn't work out the way that I thought. So rather than having something permanent, I am looking for a partner and somebody that I can do life with, and on a long-term basis, and whatever life brings. So that's where I am. And it's really, I love this, because in a lot of other spaces, the 4 of us would all be called unicorns. Because am I correct in the fact that all 4 of us are single in our 30s with no kids? Yeah. So we're all unicorns.
Yes, they are few and far between.
Our relationships.
But just because we're single doesn't mean we don't know anything about relationships.
100%. I completely agree.
That part.
Yeah.
Has anyone in here been married besides me?
I came close.
I did.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
I came very close. I thought, as in like wedding ring shopping close. You know, like I could have swore, I'm like, this is it. I found it. I got it. I'm ready. Let's do this. And then all of a sudden, nope, bad idea. And it happened fast. And I'm glad that I didn't put that investment in, because I was damn close.
I wish my situation happened like that. I feel like mine's happened right after the actual marriage. So as soon as you got me, that's when it was like, let me. Okay.
That's so descriptive, Brandon.
Hey, man. You know, shit happens.
I was married for 3.5 years and together with this beautiful human for 5. It's definitely an interesting ride, and I am so incredibly grateful for that experience.
Is it true what they say about sex and marriage, and that it just like it goes downhill after?
I am the wrong person to ask that question to. Because both of us were virgins before we got married, and don't know what you don't know. So sex was kind of a tenuous thing in our relationship the entire time we were married. And so I don't know the answer to that question.
Wow.
Interesting.
Very interesting.
I surely hope that notion is not true, Ms. Kerr, because I plan on doing that until like I'm 80, 90, 100 years old. So
until the end.
I hope
I'd be happy going
like,
out.
At least it plateaus. I can plateau as long as it doesn't go downhill. Like, you know.
Like if I had to choose a way to die, that'd be it.
That would be it. That's yes. To be honest, and I'll be completely real with you all. That's probably what I miss the most with this whole quarantine thing. Because like being single in non-COVID times, like you could figure something out. Like we all can make a couple calls and then be like, hey, it's been a while for me. It's been a while for you. Let's just figure something out, right? But during COVID times, like that's just not the case, right? So it's like now, if you want to do that, you got to be like, well, how long you been in quarantine? Have you been around people the last 2 weeks? Is that a thing? You know, like it's just too much to put into it now, and you don't see anybody. You can't meet anybody new, so it's like you just gotta. I miss that the most.
I would invite you to speak in eye language, Kai, because that has not been my experience in 2020.
I need to learn from you because my love language is touch.
Here's
My love language is physical touch, and I have not had much of that. I went to the airport and they patted me up and down for a little bit, and I was like, "Ooh, I want some pizza." But
I could so see Kai making googly eyes at the security guard, like, "Sir, I'm dinner first."
I'd be like, listen, I don't know what you're doing after your shift today, but
I've got a layover for about 2 hours, so.
Yeah. Wait, real quick, can we talk about, so over the summer, one of the biggest songs of the summer was that Tory Lanez song, and one of the lyrics is, I'm going to put you in 7 positions for 70 minutes. Can we just break down that lyric for a second? He said, I'm going to put you in 7 positions for 70 minutes. Can we just do the math on that real quick? That is 1 position for 10 minutes straight, 7 times. I think that's a little excessive. That might just be me. I don't know anybody that would enjoy that, let alone last that long. 70 minutes is a long time. 10 minutes is a long time. For 1 position?
Depends on the guy.
10 minutes is a long time.
1 position? At what point are you going to switch? You got to switch it up after a couple minutes. You got to be like, all right, next, let's go.
To each their own.
Exactly. Speaking eye language, Kai. Eye language.
I guess I'm the weird one here. I want to switch it up, man. Okay. Come on. I'm the crazy one. Do you hear this, Gia? I'm the crazy one.
Ask Gia. I want to know what Gia has to say.
They want to know her and I have had this discussion, just so you guys can hear. We've had this discussion before because that lyric just bothered us. 7 positions in 70 minutes. That's way too long. And like 1 position for 10 minutes straight.
Let's break this down for a second here. Is the main issue is the main issue the 10-minute allotment, or is the issue the full 70?
Now here's the way that I think of it, right? Because in my opinion, I think like the 70 minutes does not include foreplay. It doesn't include foreplay. That's what I'm assuming, right?
Okay.
70 minutes of like pure adrenaline sex is. Please tell me, how have any of you done that? 70 straight minutes without halftime, nothing.
I don't.
No halftime show.
Track of time.
70 minutes.
Okay, Kerr.
Am I crazy?
I don't know if y'all. I'm a Scorpio, so
7 straight minutes. Oh man, I couldn't do that. I guess I'm too old for that now.
Well, I mean, there's levels,
so
right?
let's remember it's been a minute for Kai, so 70 minutes feels like a long ass time.
It's been a minute for me too. What do you mean?
I feel well. Let the record show. I did have the intercourse this year multiple times. Thank you very much. I had to travel for it. I had to travel cross country for it.
But at least you got it, right?
I got it.
It's true.
Oh, so we have some beautiful comments right now that are happening. Okay. So
yeah, let's say hi to the people then.
Rochelle says maybe they rotate through every 2 minutes, but keep it to the 7 positions. And then
sometimes you can't repeat.
Just saying. And then Taryn says, if I pronounce your name correctly, I hope.
Taryn.
And that's why women fake it. Yes, I'm not the only person here. That's a long enough. Next time, I'm gonna put this challenge out there. So anybody that's listening right now, anybody that's on this podcast right now, next time that you're having the sex with somebody, I want you to time it, and I want you to try to go for 7 positions in 70 minutes.
That's exactly what people are thinking. And I want when they're getting in the mood. I'm like, oh, Kai wants me to time this shit.
I want you to think of me. I want you to think of me in the corner with the stopwatch, being like, okay, let's go switch it up. It's been 10 minutes.
I think you should put out a poll. I think we need scientific results on this.
No, I'm with you, man. I know women who can't last that long. It's like, okay, I'm done.
If you're doing it right.
Yeah, that is a long time. Imagine
it is a long time. I'm just giving you shit.
Here's the thing. How long have we been doing this podcast right now? We've been on for what, 37 minutes? Just imagine that you've been doing it the entire time, nonstop. Boom, boom, pow. Black Eyed Peas style.
Yeah, I couldn't do it right now, but I would love to work up to that.
I'm invested in this information now. I think we're going to do a test. So
that's fair.
I'm going to start a 10-minute timer.
How long does it take?
And every 10 minutes, I'm going to change position.
Okay, let's do it. How long does it take for y'all, when you're having sex multiple times in the night, how long does it take for y'all, how much time do you need to reset before you go at it again?
It depends.
No time at all, huh?
None.
No time? None?
Wow.
Like,
it depends.
Maybe like 2 minutes.
It will always depend.
Okay, 2 minutes. Yeah, it's like 2-3 minutes for me. Like, give me some time. I need to catch my breath.
2 or 3 minutes.
Hydrate.
I need to get some water. It's hot.
Yeah, I need to
that's my one question. That's all I got to contribute tonight.
Water. Or I'm ready again.
Yeah, let me get a glass of water.
Need to refuel.
And Leah's like, and only the lesbians in the room. So apparently lesbians can have sex for longer. Is what it sounds like.
I think that's strictly conditioning, if you think about it.
I mean, that's just bragging at that point. Just bragging.
Showing off. Y'all are showing off. Jawad says, and that's why people cheat. You guys are funny.
What's the question, Leah? Is this the first few orgasms or the last 6? What are you referring to?
Last 6.
Right.
Girl, keep him.
Okay.
Keep him. Or her. Sorry, I shouldn't assume. Keep them.
Okay, I'm reading a book called Urban Tantra right now. So I'm learning about Tantra. And one of the things it alludes to at first, and I haven't gotten to the chapter yet, but it talks about how men can actually orgasm without ejaculating.
Mm-hmm. Well, I haven't gone to training for it yet, but it is some people that actually teaches it. Yeah, that is people that talks about it. It's like actually because when they talk about it, they talk about how we're actually not supposed to, like after age like 28 to 30 or something. We shouldn't do it every day. We should actually only orgasm like once a week for our health and for our prostate. But we know, or ejaculate once a week, but actually have orgasm. So we learn how to actually have the orgasm without ejaculation. It actually helps our prostate over time. The older we get.
Kai looks so perplexed.
I know,
right? Yeah. Everybody I've talked to about it has.
He's like, what sorcery is this?
Yeah. How does one? I'm asking for a friend. How does one male orgasm without ejaculating?
It's very difficult. It is. I've done it a few times. It's very difficult. It takes a lot of concentration. Like you're seeing Demon Slayer and water concentration, dragon style. But yes, it is very difficult. It's a challenge. But it feels just good.
I am shocked and awed. I am today years old when I found out that you could do that. That would have spared me so much embarrassment in my teens.
Yeah.
I know a sex coach that could probably teach you how to do that.
I don't know if I want to learn. Like, I'm proud of myself. When I reach to that point, I'm like, look at this. I did this.
For the longevity of your health, Kai, you should learn.
Yeah, and when you orgasm without ejaculation, it's actually easier to keep going and easier to get want to do some more, because it's the ejaculation that actually takes away your energy and actually makes you go soft. It's not the orgasm itself.
Mm-hmm. It's the gift that keeps on giving.
So you probably should want to know that.
Then you can have
I feel
multiple
like I'm not
orgasms.
worthy. I feel like
I
I'm
love how
not
Brandon
worthy
had
to
to
be on
lean
this
in for that.
broadcast.
Brandon was like,
What is happening right now? I feel like this Jersey boy has not been opened up to the sorcery that you speak of.
You have not done enough research.
Hey, yeah.
I thought I had it down pat. I thought I was doing it right.
Hey, there's always more to learn, man.
so fun fact, one of my besties, Taryn, is a sexologist and she is in the chat. So
yes. Yes, she knows the book I'm talking about.
Your body can do amazing things. You can train your brain to reroute pleasure centers.
Yes.
like it's a Google map. Like I'm like, oh, this road's closed today. Can you make a left?
Kai, I think we get to read this book together and maybe do some more conversation on this.
I think so. I might have to have a podcast just on the fact that you can not ejaculate when you come to fruition. Like, I didn't know that was a thing.
The No Nut podcast.
This is
Make sure you
astounding.
music, okay?
I'm at a loss of words. I don't know if I can even participate in any more conversations tonight.
And we've only just got started.
Oh, man.
You know, he's going to be thinking about this for the rest of the night. He's going to be lying in bed like, damn.
He's going to try it.
Oh, he's going to practice tonight. There's going to be some practicing involved, for sure.
I'm done.
For sure.
Ladies and gentlemen,
his mind is too curious.
has left the
Did
building.
you know that guys can ejaculate or can like ejaculate without ejaculating?
No. Orgasm.
Women can do it. Yes, guys can orgasm without ejaculating. I know women can do it because women do fake it, but it's hard for I gotta Google some stuff. When this is done, I gotta Google some stuff. I got some Googling tonight. Gia said no woman over 30, no woman over 20 should be faking it, is what she said. What do you guys think of that?
Agreed.
I don't think women should fake it ever.
They agree.
Period.
Yeah, it's okay. Just sometimes a little bit of shame, a little bit of embarrassment is good for the ego, you know, so they can go home, practice, come back, you know, they'd be big time.
If you are faking it as a woman, like you're like, even if you're not intending on being with this guy forever, like you're just setting up the next woman for dealing with the same shit. Teach him something.
Exactly. He think he handle his business. He gonna go to the next one who ain't gonna fake it, and he gonna get embarrassed. Save him the embarrassment. You know?
Brandon, I like how you said that. Can you say it again? It just sounded good.
Is it save him the embarrassment?
No,
teach him
before
something.
that, the way he handled his business. I don't know.
You can't, you know, you gotta let him know. If he think he's handling his business and he not, that's not cool. It's not cool. The last person should let him know. Just like we should let you know. Like I've had situations where that, hey, you might want to go check on that, you know, because
love being fucking coached in the bedroom. I want to know what you like. Like, come on.
Yeah.
How does one go about doing that? Do you guys have like a note session afterwards? Like you go to the drawing board and be like, okay, this is what you need to work on.
Pulling up.
Well, it kind of depends on what it is. It depends on what it is and what type of relationship you have with the person. So I have a friend who he and I dated for a little while, and he like away from the romantic conversation, like gave me some notes on my kissing, and I was like, oh, that's really helpful, thank you. And then I got to practice with him later, and it was awesome.
Yeah.
By the way, Taryn just shot at me. She said, "Is this why Kai is single?" By the way, I feel exposed. I feel attacked. I don't feel safe in this community that I've allowed myself to become a part of. Taryn, I'll talk to you later. I have questions.
Yeah. I agree, Brandon. It really depends on what the situation is. So, for example, just for being open here, sometimes I find like hand jobs kind of awkward because And different strokes for different
Giving
folks.
or receiving?
Yeah, that was my question.
Giving.
Well, yeah, I'm saying if it's a hand job,
What?
first you're gonna give it. You can't get it. Well, I hope you can.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't have one of those.
Fingering, whatever, you know.
I know. But in a situation like that, I would want him, like, if I'm clearly not doing a good job, which isn't likely, I would want him to show me. Show me what you like.
Mm-hmm.
I can play follow the leader.
So do y'all feel like those conversations, would y'all rather have that conversation before this, y'all in the situation, or doing,
Right.
you want him to kind of just navigate you while it's happening? Did you rather
While it's happening.
For sure.
While it's happening?
For sure.
Okay.
Because, like, why would you wait until it's bad and then it's done to be like,
ask for what you want
so we can still have a good time.
Yeah. No, I was saying, like, would y'all want to have that conversation before anything ever happened? So y'all know what y'all getting into going in, or just kind of him teaching you why it's going on?
It depends.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's fun to have those conversations before. Sometimes it's fun to flirt about that shit before it happens, because then there's the anticipation of getting ready to have sex, like whether like on texting and shit.
Yeah.
You know what, though? Sometimes I don't really like having too much of that conversation, because it kind of takes the fun out of the exploration and the discovery of learning another person. You know, I mean, I'm a physical learner, so
I'm kind of with you.
And hands-on, that's my thing.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. I think I feel the same way, as I don't care to have those conversations too much beforehand, but for a different reason. I feel like every time I have those conversations, I feel like people will, I'll say
Sorry,
the
guys,
women.
It's time to change positions.
Oh, let's go. The conversation I've had with women before, leading up to the situations, usually don't match the energy. Like, I've had a lot of conversations with people that say they want to do this and do that, and they this freaky and this freaky. Then by the time you get to the situation, they're kind of awkward. Like, they don't really know what they're doing.
Oh, they're all talk. So they're not
They're
honest.
all talk.
That's bullshit.
All talk. I know. It's annoying.
I'm honest as fuck, so I'm gonna tell you for real. Like,
yeah, because I'm that person. Like, hey, all right, that's what you've been talking about. Let's go. And they just like, I'm like, all right.
That's a bullshit.
I've been in those situations where, like, the lead up to it is like, oh, this is gonna be great, and then once the time comes, it's like, well, what happened to the person that was on the cell phone? Can I get the person on the cell phone, please?
Wow.
Please.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm glad I've never been in that situation.
Let's take a break and shift for a second. Miss Kerr, tell us a little bit about what you got going on in your business world.
Oh, well, thank you for asking. Actually, this month, my business that I co-own with one of my best friends, Michelle, we are celebrating 5 years. Yay, us. So to celebrate, we are offering 30 days of hookups, where we just do a deal of the day every single day, where we feature a different service provider, amazing service providers that we work with and that we support. And Jess is actually one of them, guys. So yeah, stay tuned to The Hook and Co. Same across all social platforms and website, and get hooked up.
Awesome. If you're watching this, if you click on Kerr's stuff on Facebook, you'll be able to find all of that.
I'll put it in the chat.
Excellent. And so the conversation we were just having, I feel like leads into the TikTok that we did together. Let's like address that. So the girl, what was it? The girl like stresses her boyfriend out to see how much he loves her.
Purposely,
like,
yeah.
What the fuck is that shit?
Fucked up. What it is.
Craziness.
Toxic.
I saw that, and then I looked at the comments, and there was a bunch of people that agreed with it, and I was like, what the fuck is this? She had like 176 comments.
Yeah. It's things like that that make it's not at all.
It's just not. It's not like if you are on constant edge wondering whether the person that you're with is actually loves you or not, or if you need to continue to have this like pop quiz or test to see if they actually love you as much as they say they do, or to the point that you want them to love. That's not okay. And that's borderline abuse, really. And you shouldn't do that, because if like I'm gonna flip flop here and put the say if that was a guy that said that, this would be a completely different conversation, you know, and the word abuse would be thrown out there a lot more prominently. This is abuse, and it's not okay. Not okay at all.
So I agree with you 100%, Kai. But I want to flip it. My bad. I want to flip it a little bit. How do you feel about the person who is taking it though? Because I am one to believe that you're going to take as much abuse as you believe you deserve. So at what point do they say, okay, I'm done with this, I don't deserve this, and I'm out?
How often do you hear about people that stay in abusive relationships that shouldn't be in abusive relationships, right? You know, you hear all the time. It's abuse, and it's not okay. Like, I mean, we can get into the semantics of, you know, a person staying or not, but at the end of the day, it's still abuse. And if they want to, I'll say to anybody, if you are in a mentally, in a physical or mentally abusive relationship, you need to go. You need to leave. And the thing is, like, and I've seen this with conversations with people that I'm near and dear friends with, and my family members that have dealt with this. It's easier said than done, especially for guys. I've been in an abusive relationship before with a female, mentally abusive, and it fucking sucks. And I look back at it now, I'm like, why didn't I leave? Why didn't I leave? And I like put myself back in the shoes, they were offering me something that I felt like I couldn't give up. I was like, if I leave, I'm going to lose this, and I'm going to lose this, and I'm not going to be okay. And that's why people stay, you know. Then some people just want that power over people, and that's annoying and dumb and just disgusting.
Agreed, 100%.
I want to address one of the comments here. Jawad said, "Don't blame the victim." So my thoughts on that are, when it happens once, or maybe even twice, maybe 3 times, like, yes, it wasn't your fault that X, Y, and Z happened. However, if you stay, that's your responsibility to continue to take on that abuse. If you stay, so it's not blaming the victim. However, take responsibility for yourself, take power, take action. Like, you have the ability to create whatever it is you want to create in your life. And if you want to create and stay in the drama triangle by playing victim and continuing to use that as a label, that's on you. But then you're not taking responsibility for leaving when you could.
I see your face, Kai.
I know, me
I feel
too.
like a lot of people, yeah. I feel like a lot of people can easily disagree with that, and I understand the sentiment where it comes from, why you might disagree, but I think it's because people kind of forget how much power that they hold in themselves. At the end of the day, if you're on, no matter what you're doing, you have the choice to do whatever that you want to do. And sometimes that choice might be difficult because of certain situations that you might be in, or the story that you are telling yourself, and the narrative that you are creating in your head to give you justifications of not changing your situation or not making a decision. But at the end of the day, nobody can do it but you. At the end of the day, you got tired enough to leave eventually. So you got tired of dealing with this situation, and you did something about it eventually. But you could have done so a long time ago. You might not have known. You might not have the tools to think you do, but you do at the end of the day.
I don't think that's fair to say, to be honest. Like, I'm going to have to challenge you guys on that. I don't think that's fair to say for the people that have to deal with being abused, right? Yeah, to your point, yes, in any situation, like, it could be a job. If you're at a job that you don't like, you have the ability to get up and walk out and not come back, obviously, right? But it's also, I think we're trying to make it so this or that. right? And it's not always that easy because there's oftentimes other things at play than just like, hey, I'm going to get up and leave this relationship. There might be other things at play that are going to be affected by this. For example, there might be children involved. There might be other people involved. There might be financial assets involved. There might be all of these other things where it's not super easy to just get up and walk away. The person might be even physically abusive and be like, no, you're not leaving. And then they end up physically hurting that person. So I get what you guys are saying in regards to like, you have the choice, like to get up and leave. Because like my main motto in life is I am the one thing in life I can control, right? I can't control anybody else, but I can control me. However, I don't think I think it's easier said than done for us to sit here and say, well, why don't you just leave? It's not that easy. You guys know this. It's not that easy to just get up and leave. Otherwise, this wouldn't be an issue. It's a major issue around the world that people have to deal with.
Don't confuse the ability to do something with the ease of doing something. I agree with you 100,000%. I never said it was easy, but it is your responsibility and no one else's.
I can agree with that.
I don't disagree with. I don't. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Kai. Finish your thought.
No. Please.
No, you already had a thought. Finish it.
No. Go ahead. No. Go ahead. No, go ahead. Spit.
We're censoring now?
No, I'm not censoring. I'm formulating.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I agree with aspects of both sides of the spectrum. I think that circumstances are super, super personal. And we also have to take into consideration paradigms that people are not aware that they even have. Sorry, guys.
What's next?
It's really hard to switch positions wearing an air cast. So that's going to be my last one for now. What was I saying?
Paradigms.
So paradigms. It's really difficult for people to overcome those when they don't even know that it's a thing to begin with. So where do you begin? And if you don't have access to help you see and know something that you don't already know, how? You only know what you know. And if all you know is abuse, what else is there? So I agree. Yes, it's your responsibility. Maybe this is hurting. It's your responsibility to protect yourself and to look out for your and whoever else is involved well-being. But at the same time, it's not always possible when it should be doable. When ideally you'd like it to be doable.
I'm with you on that. Pretty much 100%. That's why I don't like to come off as like trying to like blame the victim or give them, all the autonomy in the world, because I completely agree. And I talk to people about this all the time. Like, you can't blame somebody for something they don't know and they don't understand. People's situations and the things that they grew up in, what their circumstances are. If they only know what they know, they can only do what they can do. And so I completely agree with you with that. If they don't understand, they don't have the tools to help themselves. They don't have the tools or the understanding that they have this ability, or their empowerment to do something that put themselves in a better situation. Then they won't do it until they know that they can or know that they have that power. So I agree for sure.
So then that question is that education piece, right? Like helping people learn that they do have a choice, helping people understand that they can get themselves and what abuse actually is, right? So it's like, if I don't know that this is abuse and I think that this is what I've been experiencing my whole life, then I don't know that there's anything different and able out there. Yeah. So again, I'm not blaming the victim, and I'm saying like people who are aware and have the ability, like they know that this is abuse and they're staying. I wonder why. I'm not blaming them. And we get to create whatever we want to create in our world. Just like I can create depression in my life, or I can create joy in my life. I'm not talking about clinically depressed. Like I could create sadness and angst and whatever in my life. I can create joy and happiness, and these things are choices. So, but this is why I love these types of things, because if anyone that's watching this has access to the internet and probably a phone and the ability to research abuse and what it is and what to do to get out of it. And so like if that is your current situation and you need some support, I know the souls in this container, like all 4 of us would want to help and serve you. So if you need some support and you're watching this, like please reach out to one of us.
Absolutely. Jawad said, what if your belief is that staying in abuse is how you believe you can protect yourself? He's a psychotherapist, and he works with men and women who are stuck in these situations on the regular. It's also about helping abusers stop and change their behaviors. He's not removing responsibility, but often abusers are caught in pain cycles as well. They need help too.
And that is a conscious choice you're making then. If you're consciously choosing to stay in a relationship because you have a communication with the abuser and you're having conversation about growing together, like fuck us, that's awesome. That's so cool. But you have to make those conscious choices and be in communication about them.
What about people who think that the actions of the abuser is just their twisted way of showing love? Oh, he really loves me because he freaks out so much. Yo, I wish somebody put bets on how many times I've put crickets in this I'd be rich.
Oh.
I think that abuse is abuse, no matter how we justify it. Mm-hmm. And a person that's being abused for whatever reason, whether they know it or not, whether it's justified or not, whether the abuser needs help or not, abuse is abuse. And it's a hard line to navigate. And I think that one of the things that stood out to me that you guys said earlier is to not think of it as the ease of leaving, but the fact that you can do it. And I don't know why that it sticks out to me, because I don't think they're mutually exclusive. You know, I think that they do go hand in hand, and it's hard. People sometimes put up with it because it's hard to get out, to leave. You know, even if they do know that they have to or that they can, I think that it's hard to do that sometimes. And like, I know that from personal experience, and just knowing that like, I need to leave this, but I'm not. I know I can, but I'm not. Mm-hmm. And I think that is where we need to like explore a little bit, you know. I don't know. That's just my thoughts.
Explore what? Say more about that. Explore a little bit more.
Explore the why a person is deciding to stay. You know, because like that's what I think about all the time when it came to the relationship that I was in, right? Where I knew I had to leave, and I knew that it wasn't right, and she knew it wasn't right, but I stayed. Why? And I think at that point is when it starts to get into some other things that that I've since learned that I was dealing with at the time that I may not have really realized that I was dealing with at the time, you know, and just stuff from childhood that I never addressed, you know, and, you know, from a mental standpoint. So I don't know. I think abuse is abuse, and it's just hard. It's hard to leave.
Yeah.
It's just really hard.
I think it's multiple layers to it. Like there's a lot of factors that go into a lot of reasons why someone would stay, even with the knowledge of knowing what's going on. I believe we have a relationship with our own pain body that is so comfortable that we have been dealing with our whole life. Like, you know, to Keenan's point, to Kyrus' point, like everything that we've dealt with as a child growing up, all of our circumstances, situations that we dealt with, from relationships with friends, relationship with family members, parents, whatever the case may be, we deal with a lot of pain and we take all that on. And we don't, when we grow up and go into relationships, we do so in the sense of, well, this is what you're supposed to do. You just go and you find another person, you build another life together, but nobody teaches how to do that. Not only that, nobody teaches us how to get rid of everything of our own baggage and how to deal with our own pain body before we end up giving it to somebody else. So the abuser has their own pain body that they're dealing with. And a person might stay, one, they might want to play hero. They might want to try to heal the abuser. They might want to try to help them deal with their own situation. There also might be reasons of it was just comfortable. I don't want to go through the whole task of getting to know somebody else. Like, they know me. You know, our relationship is our relationship. We good when it's good, and when it's bad, we get over it. You know, justifications to give yourself reasons to stay. And some other people, it's hard to kind of have that communication with yourself to say that I just don't deserve this and I deserve more. Especially depending on what you have dealt with in the past. If you haven't had a situation where someone might treat you in a way that you feel like you might be deserved, or you might deserve it, you might start to treat yourself in the same manner. If you don't treat yourself well, nobody else is going to treat you well, or at least you would be comfortable with other people not treating you well.
Yeah. Are all of you familiar with the drama triangle?
I think we talked briefly about it when I interviewed you on my podcast, and I was obsessed.
So the drama triangle, for those who don't know, is you have the hero, victim, and villain. And so what I find to be true often in abusive relationships is that people are stuck in that triangle in a very deep and harmful way to each other. Because not only it could be physically harmful, and it could be emotionally harmful. And like we said, abuse is abuse, and there's layers of abuse, and there's different types of abuse. And what happens if when I started this part of the conversation, the person said, don't blame the victim. It's not about blaming the victim. I want to empower the victim to be able to get out of the circumstance if they want to. And so as I don't want to get, if I'm talking to someone who's in an abusive relationship and is the victim in that part of the relationship, they are not the abuser, they are being abused. I don't want to jump into the drama triangle with them and try to save them. I'm not a hero, because that's going to create more drama. Because if I go to hero somebody, what happens is I view that person as less than, like they are not capable of doing it themselves. So then I'm coming in to save them. And so then when we come out of it, and if my expectations and things are not met, then I'm going to start resenting that person because they're not thankful, or they're going to start to resent me because they didn't do it by themselves, and therefore they jump back into the relationship and find themselves back in abusive situation or whatever. And so I think the key around all of this is to make sure that you're coming out of that drama triangle, so that you're not coming in and seeing this person as less than. Because if I view the victim as not capable of being able to do whatever, now it's one thing if they ask for support, they ask for help, like, help me, I'm being physically harmed, help me get out of this situation. I'm going to do whatever the fuck I can to help you get out of that situation if you've asked for my help. If you don't ask for my help, then it's not like there's nothing I can do until you do, and you recognize that you need some support and help. And I want to view you as capable and amazing and able to create whatever it is you want to create. So if you want to create staying in the relationship, amazing. If you want to create getting out of the relationship, amazing. But we are all powerful creators. And so it's a matter of making sure, like for me, it's like stepping out of the drama triangle and helping support in whatever way that is possible to help people serve them and support them in what they need.
I just want to throw a comment out there. I don't like, I think I agree with the comment in the general sense, like we shouldn't blame the people who are victimized in certain situations, especially when it's to a degree out of their control. But I don't like the the communication of always trying to make them feel, for lack of a better way of putting it, make them feel okay. I agree with you, Jess. I feel like our job is to empower people, to let them know that they have the tools, and not just that, well, it's just really hard to deal with. Well, yeah, everything is really hard to deal with. But at the end of the day, you have the power to overcome it. And we shouldn't diminish that. If I feel like we all have the power, and that should be more of the conversation versus like what they dealt with is just not okay, or the abuser is more to blame. We shouldn't minimize the ability that we have either to deal with the situation that we go through.
And we aren't diminishing the abuse either. Yes, this is horrible. This sucks. This is awful. This should not be happening. And let's find you the tools you need to help you with wherever you are on that journey. Got real
and
deep.
scene. Jawad says that words have power, and the word help comes from a place or position of power.
The word help comes from a place or position of power. Yeah. Yeah. That's beautiful. Mm. Did someone else have something? Yeah. I was like, we can move on. Or did you want add something before we move on?
I've said all that I need to say.
Yeah, I'm good to go.
All right. Woo! Take a deep breath, everyone. This is awesome. Kai, why don't you tell us a little bit what's going on in your business world?
Well, I'm putting everything on the business world on hold while I figure out how to ejaculate without ejaculating. That is the goal.
Orgasm without ejaculating.
Orgasm without ejaculating. No, so I have a lot. I have a lot going on right now. I'm currently working on 2 books at the moment. I'm hoping to have them both published at some point this year. It's November. So hopefully I'll get those done. If not, early next year. I also have The Vibe with Kai, which is my brand, and it's all about promoting good vibes and positive energy. So I just want people to do good, feel good, be good, and live a good life full of good vibes. So to focus on that, today I got my first sponsorship contract offer for TikTok,
Yay,
which is
congrats.
exciting. Thank you. So I'm just looking over the details of that, and I'm going to consider it and probably sign it, which would be really nice. And there's that, and then just a bunch of things. I try to do a lot. I tell people all the time, 2020 is what you make of it. And I want to leave this year saying that I did the best damn job that I could. And that there's so much out of my control right now, but at least on my end, I did what I could control and I made the best of it. So that's my goal for 2020. I've had a blessed year with blessed friendships. I've met all of you, and I've met so many people that have, supported me, and I want to uplift myself and the people that surround me. So it's been a pretty damn good year for me. So I can't wait to continue growing.
So where can people find your swag?
Pornhub. You go to my
That's
website.
where I recognized you.
Now everybody's like, oh yeah, that's where he's from. I remember
It all
him.
makes sense now.
Thought that was the guy from Hootie and the Blowfish for a second. You can visit my website, thevibewithkai.com, or you can follow me on your favorite social media platforms. Follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at @thevibewithkai, or on TikTok and on Snapchat at Kyrus Keenan.
Amazing. Okay.
Sorry. I'm still stuck on pornhub.com/thebiased
Hey, listen, I'm a venture capitalist. So listen, I go where the money goes. You know, if that's what's next for me, then I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do to make that dough. You know what I'm saying? Times is hard.
Okay, so the name of this roundtable is the Love Travelers Roundtable, and it's because the name of my coaching program is called the Love Less Traveled. And before I go into talking about that, I just want to hear what your initial thoughts are of that. Because I don't even know how much you guys know of it anyways, so it's great. The Love Less Traveled, what does that mean to you?
The love less traveled, you said.
The love
I think it's clever and I love it.
What does it mean to you?
What does it mean to me? I mean, the first thing that pops into my head is determining what love means to you, you know, and navigating whatever waters you're in when it comes to love, and finding a way to just navigate that. Sometimes it's rough waters, sometimes it's just a pond, sometimes it's, you know, big waves, and sometimes it's just strolling along the beach. So, you know, just finding a way to navigate those waters, no matter what situation you're in. That's the first thing I think of when I hear that.
Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it's like unfiltered, unadulterated, just pure, unattached, like just joy and love, and really exploring that and really trying to live in that. So I think that is the love that's less traveled. Like, I feel like a lot of the love that we have comes with some form of expectations or you know, things of that nature. But I think when we are able to kind of have true, free, honest love, I think it brings about a lot of beautiful things in life, beautiful things in relationships, and beautiful things in yourself. And I feel like that needs to be explored more. And I feel like, I'm guessing that is your goal, to help people figure that out.
Nice. For me, two things came to mind. The first one was self-love, and you know, we've touched on that already, so I won't elaborate. But the second one made me think of a saying that I have, and it's being loved in between the I love yous. So all of those, you know, moments between the moments where sometimes we don't really appreciate them, we don't value them, they go unnoticed, unacknowledged, and in my opinion, in my world, those are the moments that are the most meaningful, because it's what carries you from that moment until the next one.
You guys are amazing. You're just like setting this up for me to just like, okay. So the Love Less Traveled, my beautiful roommate who is in this chat, Leah, came up with the name of it, and I'm so glad she did, because it's amazing. But when you think of Robert Frost's poem, The Road Less Traveled, he's talking about going on that path that is not traveled as often. And with love, like you all just said, I think that there's a lot of programming and there's a lot of ways that we're supposed to do things, and we're trained how to do it. And that's the road the love traveled often. And so with the love less traveled, it's like going down that path that is not traveled as often, and having that unlimited, unconditional love and joy. And it all starts with what Kai said, is understanding what your relationship to love is first, and how beautiful. That's my first I have 3 modules in the program. The first one is relationship to love. The second one is relationship to self. And the third is relationship to others. And when you're discovering your relationship to love, like, you have to understand that part of it, because of all the programming and all the things. And some of the stuff we've been talking about tonight is all of that. Like, some of these things that we see on TikTok and social media, like, I make my boyfriend crazy to see how much he loves me. That comes from programming. That comes from something. Like, she saw somebody else do that and thought that that was love. And so then she's looking for love in this particular way. because it's programmed. And so we get to like look at our relationship to love and what that is, and what is your truth about, what is your actual truth about love? Like, what does unconditional love look like? And once you actually start to figure out what your programming is versus what you want it to be and what you really think it is, then you can start to shift that. And then you come to loving yourself. It's like, okay, I understand how I'm programmed to love, which is how I love myself. So if my programming's all fucked up, then that's probably how I talk to myself. You know, like if you would have talked to me 10 years ago, I called myself stupid all the time. That's not true. I'm like graduated top of my class in high school, but I still called myself stupid. But language has a lot of power. So when I learn about like, okay, my programming to love versus, okay, now I can change how I love myself. And then out of the outpouring of the love that I have, because my cup is full, because nobody can fill my cup but myself, then I can go out and love others. And then there's lots of other things in that too. So that's the 3 modules I have in the program that I have, and why it's called the Love Less Traveled. So if this resonates with anyone who's watching, like send me a message, comment below. I would love to connect with you. I'm taking on some new clients right now, and I'm super excited about this program.
It has my approval, my stamp of approval. You're allowed to do it. You may proceed, Jess.
Hey, thanks, Kai. I needed that approval.
That's all you need.
I approve it. I approve it. You got the Kyrus bump now.
Ooh.
Gonna go double platinum, win a couple Grammys and stuff.
Kerr, what were you gonna say?
Oh, nothing. I was just co-signing Kai because my approval is important too.
Of course it is. I love what Taryn said. I wish they taught this in school. This is exactly why I do what I do, because emotional intelligence and personal development is not taught about in school, and it's so important. And you can tell from the conversation that we've had, all 4 of us have done some of this work already. Obviously, we have very conscious conversation, and unfortunately, you know, it took us this long to figure out some of that shit, and there's still stuff we haven't figured out yet because one reason or another, but we're not taught it. And so being able to help support people in that way, and like that's why I love what all 3 of these beautiful humans are doing too, because all of them have such amazing hearts and spirits. And like, you know, the vibe with Kai is like this high vibe, positive things, like 2020, like, and still bringing joy into people's hearts every single fucking day. And Kerr is like hooking people up in the music world and helping them like create joy and laughter and amazingness with all of that. And Brandon has yet to create his own shit, but he's about to. And you know, being a personal trainer,
pop off, Brandon, like, come on, pop off, bruh. Time to pop off. Let's go.
But even as a personal trainer, like he does more than help people with their bodies. Like I know he's having conversations about mindset stuff with people as they're learning how to make their bodies look like what they want it to look like. But it's not just that. If you don't love your body as it is now, you're not going to love it even if you lose 100 pounds. And I know that's conversations Brandon has with people all the time. Yeah. So I just like love and relationships and conversations, and like all of this is so beautiful.
Good times.
I know. Oh my gosh, this has been amazing. You guys have anything else to add before we like end it?
I mean, I feel like there's so much we could talk about, but like that we haven't even touched on yet.
I mean, this will happen again.
The next time that I'm on this round table, I will be in a committed relationship. I can't even finish that sentence.
You started off by talking about how you every other day you don't know if you want to be in a committed relationship.
Well, first I need to now I'm just going to take a couple steps back, because apparently I've been doing this wrong for 33 years, and I'm going to orgasm without coming. Now I got to learn. This is a task I'm willing to take on. I'm going to take one for the team. I'm just figure it out. I'm going to report my findings.
Yes. So maybe by the next time you're on the round table, you will have mastered that ability.
Next time the round table is going to come along, you guys are going to be like, you're going to be like in the middle of your intro, and I'm going to interrupt you and be like, guys, what? Figured that
I
shit
did
out.
it. No, you know what it is? I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it, guys. I did it.
I did it. I did it.
Oh my
Oh
God.
my.
Taryn says, and multiple orgasms. Yes.
That shit's real. That
It is.
shit's real.
Oh
I
man, I have so much to learn.
I mean, practice makes perfect.
Facts.
I am in this cohort of beautiful people called Kaboom Coaching, and it's a bunch of coaches who are learning how to grow their businesses. And I get to work for that company too, which is fucking awesome. But one of my colleagues, for other coaches, her name is Dominique. She has a program called Yes Tantra. If you look up Yes Tantra anywhere online, you'll be able to find her. But she has this thing called the Om method, and this is what she's teaching. So, like, Kai, I got you hooked up if you want.
How do you spell that? Yes, what? How do you spell it?
Tantra, Tantra.
Oh, Tantra. Wow.
Yeah.
I totally heard Contra. I was like, is that with a C or a K?
T.
Tantra.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay, so that's Kai's biggest takeaway. Miss Kerr, what is your biggest takeaway from this call?
Oh, we're doing takeaway.
Why not? And we can go back to Kai if he has a different one.
Oh geez, I don't know. This was just super fun. I don't know if I have like a biggest takeaway. I think it would be the fact that Kai doesn't know you get an orgasm without ejaculating.
I'm taking notes. I've already started Googling it.
I know. I knew that's what you were doing.
That's not what I'm doing. That's not what I'm doing.
Oh man, no. You know what? I think it's just that more of these conversations need to be had in open forums, with varying opinions, because like that's how we learn. You know, I'm not the same as you. I'm not the same as Kai. I'm not the same as Brandon. Like we're all very different people. But I think it's super beautiful when we can come together like this and formulate nice thoughts that kind of work with each other but still remain different, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you, Kerr. Like, I guess for me, because I always enjoy having conversations like this, which is why me and Jess are so close. Because it's I find it a challenge to have a conversation with people who I disagree with that don't turn into a bunch of nonsense in a conversation. Yeah, it turns to a fight. Like,
yeah,
we can disagree, we can have different of opinions about something that we might say, and we can counter with an argument without it being a real argument, just a counterpoint, and then we can explore deeper. I enjoy those conversations. Those conversations are needed. It's good to have a various opinions about something and completely disagree about something, but you have to be able to have the conversation though. If you can't, we can't go further. So that was beautiful.
Like why can't it be a discussion? Why does it have to turn into an argument? You know, like we can be passionate and discuss things respectfully.
And like with all of you as welcome here. So like the number of times that Brandon and I have got in it and I like fucking crying because I'm pissed or angry or frustrated or scared or whatever has happened many times. And we're still amazing friends, like, because we're able to still have conversation about it. And yes, emotions can get really high. And yes, we can disagree on shit. And I love that even happened in this container today, because it's just like, we can disagree and still have conversation and be friends. Like, yes, this exists.
And you know why? Because you speak to him with love. When your intention is love and like positive shit, then you can have disagreements and not have to turn into like fucking World War IV or III or whatever world war that we're
I think you skipped one there.
Well,
I don't know how they roll in Canada, but we've only had two. We've only had two down here.
Yeah, we need another one, don't we? Before we get to 4, don't?
Well, you know, I mean,
I want to live a few more years. Sheesh, you about to
y'all know what I meant. Shit.
I know, we're busting your chops.
Lead with love always. Like, it's just, come on. Intention is super, super important.
Intention is super important. Did you want to say something else, Kai?
No, I've been taken to school today.
Well, what have you found so far?
I have not looked. I'm gonna try it on my own first and see if it. But why would anybody want that to happen though? Like, in what situation would you be with somebody, having the fun with them, and then you not come out? Like, would that you not like? Isn't that like a badge of honor? Like, wouldn't you want that? And then you're happy.
Yeah. Well, one, you will last longer, would please the woman more, which makes her happy, will make you happy, and then you can control it. So everybody should want that.
But but
Kai,
that's the point. But that's sex. That's the literal point. It's to literally have sex to the whatever point that you can, and then you come to fruition, and then you're done. Like, that's the point. Why is it so complicated now?
Because what if you do that in 6 strokes?
Listen,
I've never done that in 6 strokes. That's a good 6 strokes.
Some people
That would have to be a solid 6 strokes for that to happen. That has never happened before. I've never had an issue with this before. I call, as my boy Joe says, I call malarkey on this, because this is nonsense. Why would I not want to, why?
hold on a sec. The point is not to not ejaculate ever. It's to allow yourself to orgasm multiple times, just like the woman, and last longer, and then at the end, ejaculate when you're done.
When you want to.
When you want to.
That sounds too complicated.
What?
That sounds too complicated. Why can't it just be about, like, keep it simple?
I am
so hard.
I mean, it can be.
Why? When did this leave elementary math and turn into calculus? I don't understand. Why? What? Like, I want the one good one, the one good orgasm, like the actual one. That's the one I want. I want that one.
But what if someone told you that you could build up to like a super duper Dragon Ball Z Super Saiyan one? Is it edging? Is this what we're talking about here? Like, wouldn't that be better? Wouldn't you wait it out for the Super Saiyan of ejaculation?
You're getting called the fuck out by Taryn.
I am.
I'll wait.
Taryn, listen. Okay, to answer your question. Sorry, I got called out on fucking Facebook.
Oh, Taryn is calling you out.
Calling me out. Taryn, you and I are going to have a discussion after this. Ms. Kerr, to answer your question, I'm sure that would be fantastic. Sure. Wouldn't that be great? But why is it so complicated? Why can't I just do the thing and then that's it?
So if you want to stay in elementary sex for a long time, there's a lot of
women. I don't have elementary sex though. I don't have elementary sex.
Then what you tripping about? Are you good then? If you said you good,
then I don't have to worry about it then, right? Just because I'm not,
we are good here.
Just because I'm not doing the Dragon Ball Z cum, I'm doing the normal human being cum.
I love you guys. Okay.
We were just throwing it out there. It was, you know, if you want to take it, you can take it. If you don't, leave it on the table.
Oh, nobody heard that. Okay, that's fine.
No, what'd you say, Miss
Kerr? Oh, wait, what did you say?
I said just for fun, favorite positions, go.
Oh, doggy style.
You say jazzercise? What did you say?
I said doggy style.
Oh, doggy
it sounded
style.
Like doggy
I was like,
style.
Is this another new thing that I don't know about? Like, yo, everybody's like, yo, did you try that jazzercise position? I'm like, no, I just learned about the 7 positions in 30 minutes. Is that one of the positions? Jesus. Oh, man.
Oh, my God.
Reverse cowgirl, for sure. Gets me every time.
Wow.
Every time.
I think that's the first ever I've
Brandon
heard
said,
that.
Wow.
Missionary needs to bed.
Missionary what?
Needs to bed.
Missionary
the woman
needs to bed.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, there you go. She got it.
Missionary knees to bed.
Knees to chest.
Oh.
There you go.
Oh. Got it. I hopped on the train. I'm on board. All aboard. Let's go. Choo choo.
You guys, this is fantastic. Bacchus. Yeah.
What?
Doggy style.
Doggy.
Mm-hmm.
Big arch or little arch?
Okay.
Big arch.
Okay.
Sorry.
Gotta go big. McDonald's, that boy.
Oh no, Jess, why did you open the gates, man? Like, you shouldn't have allowed me freedom on this. +1.
Hopefully I don't get banned on Facebook.
Are we sure we're done? Because I mean, we can keep going.
Oh my god.
Oh, because maybe 70 minutes is too long.
Well, for some, but not for me.
That's my favorite.
Now is she all talk is the question.
I swear, the next time that y'all have sex, each and every single last one of you better last 70 minutes and do no more than 7 positions, or I don't want to hear your mouth. I don't want to hear your mouth. 70 minutes.
No, I'm with you,
straight.
guy.
No break.
Yeah,
no intermission. No break.
That's a long time, bro.
No intermission, no what?
No breaks, no intermission, no candy stops, no halftime show, nothing. 70 minutes.
You better hydrate
straight
beforehand
at a high rate. Yep. Foreplay doesn't count.
Going 65 strokes a minute.
Wants me to refill.
The post-coital regret. The post-coital regret does not count for the 70 minutes.
No, of course not. Definitely not.
No. The what the
so
fuck
I'm being called out
here
for the fact that my glass wasn't done. So I feel like that means that we're not done. This is a group activity.
Yeah, I can't believe you said McDonald's, that bitch. That was a funny shit.
Honestly, this is fantastic.
Okay. I have a question.
Yes.
Where's the craziest place you've had sex?
Okay, so.
We're about to get a story.
I have.
I love that he
3.
adjusted.
Now I don't know if the place, all with the same person. Now I don't know if the place itself is necessarily that crazy. More so the situation. So the very first time was like our very first time. It was in an elevator at a rapid station. Okay, so at a train station.
What?
In the elevator at a train station. Yes, our very first time. Okay, so another time we were in the middle of a park, like a park with basketball courts, tennis courts, swings, in the middle of a park.
What time was it?
3:00 in the afternoon. And
a nooner.
Not even 10 feet from us, a group of kids had a fist fight, and their mom had to come break it up. And while we're still going, we're still going. She had on some shorts. I just put, hey, we made it work. Okay. The other time was at my mom's house, in the middle of the living room, and I thought we were alone, and we wasn't. We literally just missed getting caught. As soon as we finished and sat on the couch, my mom walked down the stairs.
Wow.
Had no idea she was there.
Well, we got some people answering in the comments. Foot of a car on the side of the road.
Or at a concert on the lawn standing up. I've done that.
Oh, wow.
You heathens, you strumpets, all of you are heathens and strumpets. How dare you?
I think the strangest place for me was the basement of a church.
I've done it in a church.
Right? That's some holy sex.
Yeah.
It's blessed sex. the Lord sanctified it. Like
I
see
mean,
no
the
issue.
Lord created our bodies to have sex. Yeah.
Adam for Eve, Eve for Adam.
Or
I
whatever you
bet you
desire.
Adam didn't, do this whole fake ejaculation thing. Bet you he just did it normal, like a normal human being, the way that God made it.
No. I bet you
Bet
he
you he
did.
didn't do this whole.
I cannot wait
No, I bet you damn sure he
for
did
him
not.
to fucking figure this shit out and it be like the most pleasurable thing he's ever
Right?
experienced.
You're
in his
gonna
life.
thank us later.
He gonna come back like,
You're gonna
oh,
come back
oh my God,
and be
y'all.
like,
oh my God, I
thank
did
you.
it. I'm never going back.
He's like, why wasn't I doing this all along?
My whole life.
I've been fine. I've been perfectly fine.
Okay, but you've been fine. But you could be
Better.
incredible.
Be wonderful.
Like
What does
you could
fine
be
stand
immaculate,
for?
phenomenal. Like why would you settle for fine?
What does fine stand for?
Why am I being
You're
attacked?
neurotic and emotional.
Why am I being attacked on this love roundtable? Y'all supposed to love me for all my flaws.
We do love you. That's why we want you to be your very best self.
Calling you forward.
Mm-hmm.
I have no words for any of y'all right now. I don't understand. Well,
I think this
if you're
is his
curious,
way of avoiding the question, actually.
No, I'll answer the question. I had regular sex with regular orgasms and regular ejaculations.
Not that question.
At a theme park. I used to work at a theme park, and we were in the station of the roller coaster that my female colleague and I were working at the time. And it was the end of the night, and most of the people had gone. Like the park was closed. We were just doing our cleaning, and we got it in, and we had the normal good old American intercourse.
Because America made up sex
in the theme park.
Yes.
Where in the theme park?
The station.
In the station?
Yeah, like the roller coaster station.
Oh, like where they wait in the line?
No, where the operator
yeah.
is.
Where you board the train and they check your restraints and all that. Yeah.
Okay. Should have just gotten one of the trolleys.
I would, but here in America we don't call it trolleys.
What do you call it? I don't know.
Not in America. Not in America.
America.
No, we did it like on the platform, on the exit platform.
All right.
It was very quick because we had to be, or we would have gotten in trouble. I didn't have time to fake it.
I have a question. I think Jess didn't answer, but I got a question after she does.
Okay. Well, church, but then, I got caught in a car in the park.
That was actually my next question. Like, have you ever been caught?
Yeah.
I've definitely been caught for sure, and filmed.
Okay.
Never been caught.
Yeah.
You've never been caught.
Wow.
Okay.
I've been caught, I think, twice. I think. Well, kind of, sorta. So with the same girl we did in the elevator, we did it outside that same rapid station. And I think a bus had rolled past. And I think they called the cops because we left for a few minutes. I came back and those cops like sitting there waiting for me to come back. So that was fun. Another time, it was kind of funny. We got caught by a friend, and it was the funniest reaction one of the funniest things I've ever experienced in my life. Because I stopped and stood up, and because I didn't know what was going on, because I thought it was the grandma, and it wasn't. It was a friend. So she walked in the room, was like, "What the fuck?" Oh, hilarious.
Amazing.
So Miss Kerr has not been caught.
No, I've never been caught.
All right.
Oh.
I'm sniper with my shit.
How about you, Kai?
Sneaky out there.
I've been caught, and I've also performed said acts in front of people, and like in college, people wanted to watch. So, yeah. Yep.
I've never been opposed to that. Just never found myself in that situation.
Yeah.
I've been to a
How
sex
was that?
club
Was
before.
that fun? Was it exciting?
It
Scary?
it was at first it was weird because I'm like they're just sitting there watching, but at that point, like after like a couple minutes, like it was just normal, you know. I did feel a certain pressure because it was as if like you're performing a show, so like you wanted to make sure that you're on your best. Like you couldn't sometimes you can just like, you know, get by with, you know, just like kind of BSing your way through sex, you know. But like I feel like we had to put on a show. Like we had like people were watching, so I felt like we should have like a director and commercial breaks and sponsors and things like that. Like I felt like we had a lot to live up to because people were like judging. And I think we did a pretty good job. I thought that, like on the scale of 1 to 10, I think we got a solid like 8, like a 8.5.
Yeah, I feel like that would be the pressure. Like you gotta bring your A game. There's no
Yeah, I
time for
definitely have to bring my A game. Yeah. Do you guys talk while you're having the intercourse?
I like to, but not always.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it depends. It depends. I don't a lot of times, but I can. Most times I don't.
Karen is giving you shit.
I know. Don't think that I'm not reading all of these comments, by the way. I am definitely reading every single last one, Taryn. Don't think I'm not looking at it.
Ty, if it's any consolation, Taryn loves you. You are like, she is a Kai fan.
Well, Taryn.
Oh, and then he had 7.
I have words for Taryn. I hope she knows I'm reading every single comment twice. I read it twice and let it sink in. I let it sink in. I'm gonna stew. I'm still. Can you see me? Can you see me, Taryn? I'm looking right at you right now. I'm letting it sit and stew. It's stewing in my brain.
Let it marinate.
Right.
I'm sorry, Brandon. I think we cut you off.
Oh no, you good. I don't even remember what I was saying.
No, Taryn, don't take it back now. No, stand your ground. Stand your ground. No. Don't say I'm just messing. No, stand your ground. No, keep it up. Let's go. I live and breathe off of it. That's how I survive.
Oh my God. I had a question and I'm like, oh, okay. So, I mean, I was going to save this for next time, but like, are we trying to go longer?
I'm good. Let's go.
Okay. What is everybody's opinion on multi-dating?
Define.
So dating multiple people at the same time. You know
I'm
how
not
people
good
say
at
play
it.
the field, don't put all your eggs in one basket, like.
I think it depends. For me, it depends on what you're looking for. So, in my previous programming, I was the type of person to date typically one person at a time, because for me, it's like if I know what I'm looking for and I know like I'm trying to be serious, it's not. I don't necessarily feel like I'm putting all my eggs in that one basket. Like I necessarily have to give them all my all in the beginning, or give them everything. I'm still just getting to know them, but that's where my energy is going. That's where my time is going. That's where my understanding of that person is going. There might be someone else who like we might be cool and something might develop through that situation, but it's not some like they may be aware like I'm talking to this one person, and if that fails, then we might do something different. But typically, I would like to talk to one person. Now, I'm in a situation where I would talk to multiple people, but I will be honest about it. Like if I know that one person, one of them might be like I'm looking for one set person, and they ask me like how many people I'm talking to, like I'll tell you I'm talking to 2 or 3. Like I guess now it's at a point where I have no reason to lie to you. I'm not really looking for anything of that nature, a traditional, typical, that type of relationship, especially if I know that we might be on a different page in terms of our perspective on kind of emotional connection in a relationship and how it might go or how it would look for me versus you. Then I definitely would not put all my eggs in that basket, and I will probably have an understanding that might end sooner than later, because I know we're on a completely different page. So now I'm more up for dating multiple people. I think part of that is because I'm not necessarily looking for that thing anyway. Like I'm not necessarily looking for that my next wife right now in the first place. So it's like it's not a big deal for me.
Got you. So what if nobody asks? Is that a conversation that you bring up?
No.
Why?
Because
yeah, attack him. Attack him.
So for me, I don't bring it up for them because how I feel about it in terms of myself. Like I can't ask you to do something that I'm not doing. So I just kind of don't like, if you're doing that, that's your business. I don't care. Like my time, your time with me is your time with me, and I'm going to cherish it. And whatever you're doing outside of that, do what you want to do. I don't say it for on my end because I'm pretty transparent and clear about if I want a relationship with that person or not, or where I am. So I don't feel it's really necessary to tell you like, hey, just so you know I'm talking to multiple people, because off the bat you're gonna know like I'm not looking for anything serious with you anyway. So it doesn't really matter if you know that or not.
Gotcha. So what are your thoughts on the saying, don't put all your eggs in one basket?
Oh, I 100% agree. I think I tell this to people all the time, and like I feel like we all have our tendencies to where we don't take our own advice, but I ideally, when I'm like in my right mind, I tell people all the time, develop a friendship first, develop who you're gonna know first before it needs to get that deep. So putting all your eggs in one basket, like just jumping straight into a situation where it's like, oh my God, this is everything, like in a couple months, not necessarily the smartest thing to do, I don't think. I think it's a lot to know somebody first. And I think it's going to be just more beautiful and more enriched if you actually get to know that person for that person and not the idea of them or who you want them to be in the box of a relationship that you have created for anybody that walks into it.
So Brandon, when are you going to take your own advice?
I do at times. I don't do it all the time. She's saying that because my last situation, I didn't take my own advice and I kind of jumped in everything like real quick. But typically that's not usually what I do. Typically I develop relationships
more than just the last one.
No, just the last one. The one before that it wasn't.
Bullshit.
Found it.
Wine.
You didn't bring the bottle with you?
I get it by the box, girl.
But you didn't bring the box in. You knew.
I know.
You gotta keep it
I was
chill.
thinking.
I guess you can't carry the box on crutches, huh?
Oh, well, I don't have to use the crutches now.
Oh, yay!
I could just hobble around on my little... What?
Did you just whoa? You're like, I don't have to use my crutches now.
No, I sure didn't. I wiggled.
Oh, okay.
I'm a wiggler.
No comment.
Moving on. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle.
Anyway, to answer your question,
if I have to go refill by the time I get back, this is done. Sorry, Kai, go ahead.
I'm open to dating multiple people at one time. I have done it. I'm just not good at it at all. Because I get like attached to one and I feel bad. And I'm like, but I'm dating other people and I don't want to anymore. But then I'm a serial monogamous. So like I'm monogamous. I'm always in a relationship, like always. Like this is the longest I've not been in one. So like my entire adult life, I've been in a relationship. You know, like I went 3 years and then 5 years and then 2 years. So that was like my adult life. That's what I was starting at the age of 18. And this is the longest I've been single. So like when I'm in a relationship, like I am in a relationship. And so like it's hard for me to date multiple people at once because I'm so committed to the one where I'm like, I don't want to fuck this up, let alone 4 of them.
Jess?
Um, I it comes down to the communication piece. Like, as long as I'm clear and they're clear and we're like upfront about all this shit, like that's not what I'm looking to do right now. Um, yeah, because that's not what I'm looking for. But like, I think I don't shame anyone else who does it or wants to. Like, as long as you're really clear with people about it. So like, um, over the like just a few months ago, I started hanging out with this guy, and I was like trying not to. I was doing stuff differently than I normally do because I like jump in real fast and like real hard and like let's go because I know what I want and I'm just like ready for a relationship. Um, and so this time I was like, well, we could just do something differently. And so I did it, and then eventually got to a conversation where I asked him, I was like, "Are you like sleeping with other people?" And he was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Oh, okay, this is not what I want." And we had like the most adult conversation ever, like being able to just like, wow, I have feelings about that, but I'm going to move through them because that's not your responsibility. And this is not what I want. And now we're like super great friends.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
How about you, Kerr?
I'm like, I'm not good at it. I've tried, but so here's my challenge with this. I'm somebody who has many different talents, and I'm good at a lot of different things. I pick things up very quickly. And all my life, people have been like, focus on one thing if you want to be really great at it. So when it comes to don't put all your eggs in one basket, I know it's a totally different concept, but I'm thinking in my brain, if I want the greatest love of all time, shouldn't I focus? Right? And it's difficult when dating because not many people, I know Brandon's like, ooh, cringe. But there is something to be said about focusing your energy. You know, like if you really like somebody and you focus in on that person, more times than none, I would like to think that good things will come out of that. But better things come out of that when like both people are focusing, you know? So don't put all your eggs in one basket is difficult for me because I'm like, I don't like to carry more than one bag. Logically, putting all the eggs in the one basket makes the most sense to me. So that is my challenge.
So
Brandon, let's hear it.
I agree with you, but what I'm going to say, I agree with you, but what I'm going to say is that is true if you putting all the eggs into your own basket. If you're correct. If you focus that hard on love, but love for yourself, it would transpire into a relationship that you actually want.
If I had a microphone, I would drop it. If I had more wine, I would drink it. I love that. That is beautiful.
Yeah. Because if you're so focused, like, that's the thing. Like, if you're so focused on the other person all the time, you're going to probably run them away anyways.
I mean, but what if it's not a situation where you're focused on the other person, but you're just focused on like your energy in relation to the other person? It's not so much about the other person as it is just not diluting your attention, not diluting your energy.
If that person deserves it, it's beautiful. If it's a mutual thing, it can be the most beautiful relationship.
Absolutely.
Yes, it can be. Because I think that's how relationships should be in the first place. You're only responsible for what you put into it. You can't control what the other person give you. You can't it's just something that you have to accept. And it's a matter if what that person is giving you is acceptable or not.
Right.
And if you are focusing on putting what you can to make the relationship beautiful on your end, and they're doing the same thing, it can happen beautifully. But it's a matter of the other person now keeping that focus on what you're doing for them. If they can focus on what they do for you, and vice versa, what they do to make the relationship grow, I agree.
Love it.
Find me a girlfriend. Some of you guys have to have some like cute friends that are like into like nerdy guys.
Kai, you
that are,
need
like,
to
kinda
decide if you
cool,
even want
that,
a
like-
girlfriend first.
Like,
Right.
I'm not against having a girlfriend. I would.
No.
I'm
No, it's not. No. You need to decide if
I'm not
you want
against
a
it.
girlfriend. You can't be,
I do.
oh, I'm indifferent. You can't be indifferent.
Yeah,
I
I,
want
I,
a
so,
girlfriend
alright,
to
so-
get a girlfriend.
I agree
So,
with
all right, here's the deal. Here's the deal. Let's break this down. I obviously am very focused on my career, as I said in the beginning, right? If I date somebody, they need to understand that like I am very focused on my career. For me, for us, I will always make time for the things that mean the most to me. If I'm in a relationship, I will make time for that relationship and all that. But I just hope that they understand how much like the books that I'm writing mean to me, how much the brand that I've created mean to me. You know, how much like, cause like just from the merch and the lives and all this other stuff that I've done on TikTok, I've paid for 2 vacations already through that. You know, this can be something that I could really make a living off of, not just for me, but for my future, for my children, for, you know, my wife. Like this is laying the groundwork so that I can retire early and doing what I love. So I just hope that they understand that being with me is not going to be like a traditional relationship. It's really not. That's actually honestly probably one of the reasons why I'm not against dating somebody that's like far away, right? Because it's a little bit easier when the one thing is kind of taken off the table. Like why aren't you spending time with me tonight? Because you live 40,000 miles away. You know, so like I like for me, I'm not against that. Like for, you know, having that in my life. And you know, we'll see. I'm on Hinge. It's a journey and it's annoying, but I'm on it. I hate every second of it, but I'm on it.
I mean, Hinge of all apps, in my opinion, is the best one.
Me too.
Jess, you look like
I agree with
my
that.
favorite.
Right?
I agree with that.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I agree.
Quality. There's some quality on
What
there.
is your least favorite? I think my least favorite is Tinder. I don't like Tinder at all. It's just too many fake people. Too many fake people in Tinder. Like
It depends on what country you're in.
I'm in the United States of America.
Just saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
When I was in South Korea, I used Tinder and it was very different than it is here.
Really?
Ooh.
Yep. My friend is in Japan. He used Tinder all the time. It's like, yeah, it's a very different experience. Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting. So go to South
No.
Korea. That's what you're saying. Find
No,
love
I'm
in South
saying it
favorite is
Korea.
depends
black,
on
though.
what what I was going to say about what we were just talking about is like there is a subtle difference though between if this is what you want, Kai, in that
I'm
relationship.
listening, by the way. I made some tea, so don't mind me. I'm listening though.
So
I
there's
need
like
to
this
offer us some. Shit.
right? I mean, you didn't offer us any wine though, Kerr.
Oh, wow.
Right. The one person else had to drink.
That's fair.
Had something to say.
It's a chopper. All right.
Even the shots out, that's all. But there's this subtle difference between if that's what you really want, Kai, you're like, I want to be in a relationship with somebody who understands these things and knows that this is a priority in my life. And if you don't hold those boundaries for yourself, then that's on you for not saying, this is what I want. And if you're not okay with that, and then you're like conceding to them, like, oh, I want you to come see me. You're like, no, I got this shit to do. We've discussed that.
Right.
It's about keeping those boundaries.
Yeah.
Well, and understanding the hustle that we do. That one of the things, even though my relationship from this summer was toxic by so many means, and it was just not a good idea. But the one thing that works for both of us is that we were both hustlers, right? Mm-hmm. She hustled every day, I hustled every day. So we understood the busyness, we understood that some days it's just like, I can't talk to you today. And it wasn't a problem. It wasn't like, why aren't you talking to me today? You don't love me. Like, no, it wasn't that at all. It's just like, hey, I'm doing this today. I'm doing this thing today. I can't talk today. And it was fine. We understood. We both understood because we both lived that life. So like finding somebody that either lives that hustle or understands that hustle or respects that hustle is who I need, because not everybody understands the hustle. I think everybody on here hustles. And y'all know what I mean by hustling, right? Like, you know, like everybody on here hustles, and it's a different world than the people that like work 9 to 5 every day. Like I do work a 9 to 5, I do, but I also hustle, you know. And some people just work the 9 to 5, and they've never had the hustle to survive in their life, and they don't understand what it's like to live like that. It's a different world,
Totally different.
you know.
Yeah, but I think also that has to do with like the self-awareness of that person. So you were mentioning like, you're not spending any time with me, so you don't love me. For that person, I was that person. I used to be that person. But because I've done my work and personal development and stuff, I know that what you do and what you say is not a reflection of me. But that is the thing that comes over and over and over in your relationships, is like I have watched people make that mistake over and over again. It's like you're making what they're saying and doing means something about your value and worth. And that has nothing to do with your value or worth.
100%. There was someone on social media recently, I forget the girl's name. I think it was B. Simone, who went on, I think it was the Breakfast Club, and she was like, if I get a man, he has to be a business owner. I don't want no man that works a 9 to 5. And people dragged her. They dragged her up, down, left, right, and center, calling her a gold digger, all kinds of kinds.
Wait, they were upset because she said she wants somebody who's a business owner?
Yes, because she is, like Kai said, like she's a hustler. So she wanted somebody that shared the same kind of mindset as her, that would understand, you know, the long days, the inability to do certain things because I gotta work, the inaccessibility sometimes, like, yeah, they were like, oh, you're just a gold digger, da, da, da.
Right.
I didn't spend much time on it.
Yeah, I'm glad you
right?
said that. I seen that because it was a misunderstanding. Like, and Kerr just kind of cleared it up. She was saying she needed somebody to understand.
Right. Yeah.
What she was going through. Right. But people took it as she can't deal with anybody who just works a 9 to 5. Right. But that's not what she was saying. She was saying, I need somebody who knows this life so they can understand this life. Yeah. That was it. Yeah.
And I mean, that's not to say that people that work a 9 to 5 job can't be understanding of an entrepreneur. They can, but again, that is extra communication that is required in that. And sometimes, I mean, the entrepreneur just doesn't have time.
Yeah.
Ish.
Of course. Sometimes. Keyword is sometimes. You make time for things that are important. Blah, blah, blah.
People do what they want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's that. Okay.
All right, I'm gonna wrap this beautiful roundtable up.
Yes.
You guys have been amazing. Thank you so much for coming on here, and we will have to do this again. My intention is to have a roundtable every month and have different people on and reoccurring guests, and you guys are the lucky ones to go first. So thank you so much for being part of the Love Travelers Roundtable.
Yay. Thank you for having us. This was so much fun. I really enjoyed this a lot.
So good. So good. I love you guys so much. We're going to sign off on Facebook here. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.